Okay, great. So Professor Deacher and Tammy, thank you so much for being here and chatting with us a little bit about the neurobiology and behavior concentration. And so to kick us off, I'm just going to have each one of you introduce yourselves and say a little bit about yourself. So Tammy, I'll start with you, if you don't mind introducing yourself first.
Well, hi, I'm Tammy. I'm a junior. I'm double majoring in biological sciences with a neurobiology concentration and psychology. I'm originally from Argentina, but I grew up in Switzerland. And yeah, I'm very excited to be here.
Great, thanks so much. Dr. Deacher?
Hi, I'm David Deacher. I'm an associate professor in neurobiology and behavior, and I'm also the director of undergraduate studies. And
Thank you. All right, so to kick us off this afternoon, I'm just going to ask Dr. Deacher, if you don't mind, just to give us a general overview of the concentration and maybe some resources within the concentration that if students have questions, where we could direct them to.
Yeah, so the neurobiology and behavior concentration is almost always one of the, either the most popular or the second most popular concentration. And you start off with two introductory courses, Intro to Behavior and Intro to Neuroscience. And students often take that in their sophomore year, but you can take them in any sequence. And after that, for each of those two courses, if you're concentrating, you take them for 4 credits. So there's an additional section. And after those 2 courses, you just need an additional 7 credits in the concentration. We're very flexible concentration. One of those courses has to come from a 3,000 or 4,000 level course of 3 credits or more. And the rest of the credits can come from, we have these courses called 4200s, which are seminar courses, different topics every semester. We have advanced lab courses. I teach one of them actually. And you can also get research credits by working in a research lab. That can count towards the 7 credits too. So students find it quite easy to fulfill the concentration requirements.
Wonderful, great. And so again, so maybe if you could chat a little bit about some folks in your department that if there were questions about the concentration or references, who could we recommend that students meet with?
Well, I'd be I guess the point person, since I'm the director of undergraduate studies. So students frequently email me about questions. But usually you'll be assigned an advisor within the concentration. Actually, Tammy's my advisee. And so usually your first point would be to contact your advisor and see if they can help you. And then if their advisor has a question, usually they contact me. And if I have a question, I contact Megan at the OUB.
Absolutely. And I know that you shared a little bit about, the curriculum, overview. I wasn't sure if you'd be able to maybe just mention a couple classes, highlight a couple of your upper level courses. And then Tammy, if you don't mind, when he's finished, if you wouldn't mind chatting about some of the upper level courses you've taken within the concentration that you've enjoyed.
Yeah, so often after the students take the Intro to Behavior and Intro to Neuroscience, there's usually one or the other area is kind of more of their interest level. So in the Intro to Neuroscience, students that are interested in that, very popular upper level class is called Drugs in the Brain, taught by Ron Harris Warwick. That's one of the most popular courses on campus, really, at least in the bio concentration. And there's also courses in motor systems, computational biology. As I mentioned, there's some advanced lab courses. I teach a molecular neurobiology lab course that students often take kind of in preparation for possibly a gap year. There's a neurophysiology lab course taught by Bruce Johnson. There's a neuroethology course, kind of more in the behavioral realm. There's a new behavior lab class also taught. There's a lot of courses kind of with animal behavior and evolution too. So you really have quite a variety of offerings. And so, students, and there's some psychology courses that are cross-listed that students could take too. And basically anything related to behavior, neuroscience, students can make a case even to take a course outside our courses if, it fits. So we're quite flexible.
Great, thank you. Tammy?
So as Dr. Detra was saying, after I took Intro to Neuroscience, I found that I enjoyed this aspect more than the animal behavior side. So I decided to go more into that side. I'm currently taking Intro to Pharmacology, which is an upper level course, and I'm really enjoying it so far. And I also want to take Drugs in the Brain in the fall, but I couldn't take it last fall. And then I'm also taking Biopsychology of Learning and Memory with Professor DeVoogd, which I'm really liking so far. And the good thing about upper level courses, I would say, is that they get smaller in size and more detailed and specific in terms of content. So you can pick classes that are very specific to your interest within neuroscience. That's what I really like about all of these different options that are offered within the concentration.
Great, thank you. Okay, so I was hoping that we could cover next a little bit more about career options and opportunities that students can get involved in while they're an undergraduate. So Dr. Detra, if you could provide some maybe examples of internships or summer opportunities that students have participated in, and then also what are some areas of postgraduate opportunities that students explore as well?
So students often work in research labs, sometimes just as a summer intern, sometimes as part of a formal program. Students, sometimes go, I think what other sort of opportunities. Some actually, one of my students is applying to a summer internship program in the New York Department of Health. There's our students come out very well trained, and so they usually have a pretty reasonable time finding research opportunities. Postgraduate, I've known a number of students in our concentration that have gone to the NIH. They have a post-bac program. A lot have worked as taking gap years as a research technician, scribes, and a lot of students go right on to med school or graduate school as well, either MD or MD PhD. Some have gone into industry. I have a student who graduated from my lab that's now working at Regeneron. So it's quite varied. Depends kind of what you're interested in, and but students, I think, coming out of Cornell and our concentration come out with a lot of skills, and they do well.
Great, thanks. And Tammy, are you doing research on campus?
I just started this semester at a new lab.
And can you just talk a little bit about any opportunities or any of your experiences in research so far?
Yeah. Well, I just started in this lab and I wasn't very experienced in the research aspect of Cornell, but I know it's very easy to contact professors. So if you go to the NBB website, you can just look at the names of all the professors in the department and their emails are linked below and what kind of research they do and what they specialize in. So you can contact them and ask more about their lab or to meet up with them virtually now or in person. And they're always willing to promote their research, and it's a lot less intimidating than it seems, I would say.
Good advice. That's what I try to tell students too. And so Tammy, can you talk a little bit more about why you chose this concentration? So what were sort of the factors that you took into play when you were in your first year? and you had to attend your freshman planning meeting and choose the NBB concentration. Can you tell me why, you chose it?
Yeah. So I came into Cornell undecided. I wasn't sure if I wanted to commit to the biological sciences major or even psychology, but I knew I always had a fascination with the brain and how minds work. So I decided to take a few classes in that and then follow some of so I took the bio cluster and gen chem and stats, and then I found that this was the path for me. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, and then I adopted the psychology double major later on when I found out that they complement each other very well. So the NBB concentration is more technical and scientific, and then the psych aspect is more on the behavior side. So I really liked how they both filled my interests, I guess. And I want to go into psychiatry or neurology in the future. So I think this is the best way for me to get exposed to the material and for it to strengthen my passion for the subject.
Great. And one last question for the both of you. I think you both can chime in on this one. What factors should a student strongly consider when they're choosing their concentration? So Tammy, if you don't mind, I'll start with you.
I think they should definitely choose one where the subject matter is something of interest for them that they really like, even though it's flexible and you can change. I would go with something that you're very interested in, keeping in mind that, yeah, everything's very flexible, especially this concentration. There are two, as Dr. Dacher was explaining before, there are two required courses, and then the upper level courses, you just have to fulfill the credit requirements, but you can take which specific classes that you're interested in. So that's why I really like this concentration, just how flexible it is. And yeah.
Thanks. Dr. Dacher, do you want to add anything?
Sure. Yeah. So, yeah, as Tammy said, it's good to kind of explore, and if you have an interest in either behavior or neuroscience and you think you might be interested, you can try one of them. And I've had students change their mind and become a general bio concentrator at the very end. So you kind of just try out something and see if you like it, and then and look at your peers, see what sorts of classes they're taking and what they're interested in. And I think you'll find that in the neurobiology and behavior concentration, there's a huge variety of things to choose from after the intro courses. Actually, one course that was added recently that I wanted to mention is Gender and the Brain, which is a kind of new offering. And so students actually, even outside of the bio major, are taking that and sort of looking at, studies that look at brain differences between, males and females and all sorts of gender kinds of issues. And, it's a rigorous, really interesting course. And, there's kind of like a class kind of, I'd say, in our concentration for almost everybody. So.
Sounds great. Thanks for adding that. All right, so thank you so much for your time. Another plug to, thanks Dr. Dacher and Tammy for spending time. And Tammy's one of our student advisors, so you can find her on our webpage too if you want to drop into her office hours. And I hope you guys have a really great afternoon. I'm going to stop recording.
Thanks, Megan.